How y'all feeling? Let's get it popping. It's on tonight, baby. Hump Day Wednesday. Fudge. No, don't do that. Don't do it. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. I think I messed up on the blog talk side. I think I messed up on the blog talk side. I think I must. Let me see. Let me see if I can fix it. Let me see if I can get it back. I might don't be able to. I might don't be able to. Let me see. Hold on. Hump Day Wednesday, anyways, the Daily Go Getimism show, and we are talking about that thing that made. I'm sorry. That thing that made you make peace with it. There you go. That thing that made you make peace with it. First of all, I want to define what making peace with something is. We hear these types of sayings, these types of cliches all the time, and we might even use them. But when we use them, you know how it is. I want to know if we really think about what we're saying when we say it. We may know how to use something, and we may know how something makes us feel, but we're not always that good at communicating to others exactly what's going on with us. And sometimes that lack of being able to communicate can make communication a miscommunication, and a miscommunication can mean that we can get it all twisted and extremely messed up. All twisted and extremely messed up. So that's what we want to talk about tonight. That thing that made you make peace with it. That thing that made you make peace with it. What does it mean to make peace with something? What does it mean to you? That's what we really need to know. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you to make peace with something? Let's define the word peace, because peace to you may not mean peace to me. What does something being peaceful, or what does peace mean to you? Like, for some people, peace might mean quiet. Honestly, like, oh, it's so peaceful out here. Even if there's light noise, like maybe birds chirping, crickets cricketing, whatever they call the sounds that crickets make. But because it's quiet, that might mean peace to them. For others, peace might mean that there's no more fighting. We're at peace. We're at peace. No more fighting. I'm not fighting you. You're not fighting me. For others, peace might mean that there's no more threat. And not fighting and not having a threat is not the same thing. And I'm sure that there are other ways to define peace personally. But what is peace to you? So when we start thinking about what peace may mean to us individually, we might be able to figure out how somebody can make peace with something. And I want to ask y'all as we go along, when was the last time you made peace with a situation? When was the last time you made peace? Did you make peace with something recently? Have you made peace with something or somebody recently? Because we can make peace with a person, and we can make peace with a personal situation. Make peace with a person and make peace with the personal. But when we talk about us making peace with something, I guess we're really talking about making peace with the personal, even if we're talking about making peace with a person. We can control or try to control what goes on inside of our bodies and inside of our mental and emotional processes, but we can't always control what somebody else does. So the way that we make peace with a person may be an external thing, or it may be something that we have to do along with the person that we are making peace with. So we're going to talk about that tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show. Let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily. The Daily Go Getimism show. We do this every single day. Every day it rains. Every day it rains. And and the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. I am your host, Son752, aka Omar, with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Getimism show, all up in your area. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show, we are talking about that thing that made you make peace with it. That thing that made you make peace with it. When I was doing the intro, one of the things I forgot about when I was talking about making peace, or when I was talking about the word peace, was that a lot of times when people talk about making peace with something, they're talking about surrendering to something, making peace with it. Now, this is different, just in case y'all are wondering how come I'm using some of the same language that I was using yesterday when we were talking about submitting, and peace to my man Earth, Lawrence, Chuck. You know what I mean? He has a few names. But we were talking about submission to a lot of people means a surrender. Well, when we talk about making peace, some people may look at that as a surrender also, because you might have made peace with a situation that you don't think that you can change. You may be trying to make peace with a situation that you have no power over. Your powerlessness may have made you make peace with the situation. And I would have to ask you, is that really making peace with the situation? If you're talking about a situation where you have no power to adjust it, to change it, to negotiate with it, to rearrange it, to lessen it, to increase it, well, where's the peace in that? That's what I would have to ask. Where is the peace in that? Are we, is peace the operative word when we talking about something like that? Can we even talk about peace when we talking about a situation where we have no negotiation, a situation where we have no negotiation? How can we look at that as making peace in that situation? So can making peace with a situation involve a surrender? What's going on, Carol Chamberlain? What's going on, Care Bear? What's going on, Emily? Can we even talk about making peace with a situation where we have no power? We have no power to change it. Is that a surrender? I don't, in politics, in war, anybody who has studied history, history of wars, world wars, or whatever, you'll notice in certain situations where the side that was losing, the side that was taking the most damage, would sue for peace. The nation that was inflicting the damage on them and winning the war. So when a nation that is at war sues for peace, they sue for the fighting to stop. Stop shooting, stop bombing, stop invading. So in politics, peace does include a ceasefire, and it also involves a surrender, or it can involve a surrender. So what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? All right, so that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show. Making peace with it. Making peace. That thing that makes you make peace with it. Because normally when you make peace with a situation, there's something that is the catalyst for you making peace with it. There's normally something that happens that encourages you or forces you to make peace with the situation. That can be a variety of things. You may have to make peace with the situation because once again, you're not able to change it. You may have made peace with the situation in order to find a way to deal with it. You may make peace with the situation because you have finally found a way to accept it. But then that would go into what you are actually talking about with the word peace. You would probably have to define what peace means to you. You know, peace of mind, peace and tranquility. What we talking about? This whole notion of peace, this theory of peace. This ain't a one-trick pony. Not by any stretch of the imagination. This is not a one-trick pony by any stretch of the imagination. So that's what we're talking about today. I said that's what we're talking about today. I said that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show. When was the last time you made peace with something, y'all? When was the last time you made peace with the situation? Or if somebody has made peace with something that you are familiar with, something that you are aware of, we can deal with that too. Has anybody told you that they have made peace with something that is associated with you? Something that you have done, some kind of way that you have felt. Has anybody intimated to you that they have made peace with something that you have done? Like, for example, if you were married at one time and y'all separated, or y'all were really on the rocks, or y'all decided to get a divorce, it isn't always both parties who are in agreement with whether to get a divorce or not. So the one that doesn't want to get the divorce might be under an unbearable amount of stress, possibly depression. So in a situation like that, are you able to make peace with it? Now we could say, all right, I really didn't want this divorce. And when we got divorced, I was very unhappy for a long time. But now I've made peace with it. In that situation, you may have accepted the fact that, hey, first of all, they filed for divorce. So I had no choice but to follow through with it or to go along with it. I could afford it a little bit longer, but I also had to make peace with the fact that they didn't want me anymore. They wanted to divorce me. They didn't want to be married to me anymore. And that's not an easy thing to make peace with. When you want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with you, that's not an easy thing to make peace with. That's not an easy thing to make peace with. So even though we may use that term, well, yeah, me and my wife aren't together anymore, and she wanted to move on, and she has moved on, and I've made peace with that. What is a man saying when he says that? What is a woman saying when she says the same thing about her husband? What are you saying? Yeah, I made peace with it. The divorce is final. The tears have been shed. The depression has been nightmarish, and but all negotiations are final, and I've made peace with the results. Have you accepted the results? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying? I'm just asking. What do y'all say? Are you saying that you've accepted the results, or are you saying that it no longer bothers you? Maybe you're saying it no longer bothers me in the same way that it used to bother me. Maybe it used to really nag at you. Maybe it used to keep you up all night long. Maybe it used to have you constipated. And eh, have you ever experienced something that had you experiencing insomnia and had you stopped up? So here you are bloated and awake. Serious shit here. And we're talking about symptoms of depression when we start talking about that. And those are things that we don't always recognize. Speaking of depression, making peace with your depression, is that oxymoronic? Like, can you make peace with your depression? Because when you're going through a depression, there is no peace. There is no peace. There are only haunting feelings of negativity. Haunting feelings of negativity 24 hours a day. So can you make peace with your depression? Maybe you have made peace with your humanity in having to deal with depression. Maybe you have made peace with getting to know your tendency or proclivity to fall into depression or be a victim of depression. Maybe you've made peace with that. So instead of fighting it so hard, you say, wait a minute, this is just a phase. This is just something that I go through. Wait a minute, when I'm going through major changes in my life, or when I'm struggling with situations that I don't like, these are when these things kick in. So I've made peace with the fact that wait a minute, I ain't crazy. And I ain't ready to end my life for none of that. But I do have to I've had to make peace with the fact that I'm prone to doing this shit. But I ain't gonna do that shit. Making peace. So I hope I'm getting across to y'all that this whole making peace with something, it can go a lot deeper than what the word or what the couple of words are that are in the term. This can go deep. So what y'all know? What we talking about? He don't love me no more. She don't love me no more. And I've made peace with it. You might shoot before, maybe you couldn't make peace with that. What you mean you don't love me? What do you mean you don't love me? Well, we gonna do something. It's gonna be something like love. And there might have been situations in the past where you fought for that love, even though the love wasn't fighting for you. The love was fighting against you, and you was fighting for the love. Well, that's not an uncommon situation because we do that when it comes to our children sometimes. Sometimes our children don't act like they really love us or like they really appreciate the things that we've done for them and the sacrifices that we've made, but we still fight for them because we know that one day they will understand. They just might not understand things in the current state that they're in. But we know that because we've been through what they're going through, and we've been there, we know that the time will come when they will move on past that. But we have to give them what they need in the time being, because we can't allow them to be abandoned or to have to make the transition into the next phase of their lives without getting the tools that we can provide for them now. So even though our kids may not be acting the way that we need them or even or want them to act for our own sanity, for our own peace, we still have to fight for them. So they may be fighting against us, being rebellious and all of that kind of shit, running away, raging against the machine, acting a damn fool, but we still fight for them because that's what our love makes us do. And I'm only saying all of that to say that, making peace with the fact that somebody doesn't love you anymore, it's not an easy thing to do. And I'm asking if it's peace that we've made with it. I mean, is it possible that we've just gotten over it? Many times we think that like another love will help us get past the current love. Sometimes it may be true. Many times it might not be true. You can love again without losing the love that you had. People who have been widowed know that. People who have been widowed have to go through that. They have to accept that. They have to, maybe they have to make peace with it. I don't want to speak for them, but perhaps they've had to make peace with that. Yeah, I lost my spouse, or I lost my love. They're no longer here in the physical form. And I will always love them. I will always cherish them. Many times the person who is widowed gets the title of being the greatest love that was ever had. I know situations like that where, you know, people feel like the boyfriend or the girlfriend that they had when they were at a certain point in their lives was the best. And it seems like they were snuffed out of here at that time when they were building the greatest love of all. So because it was all the way up here when they passed, that's where it ended. The memory of them will always be all the way up here. Somebody that they're dealing with currently may only be able to make it here, or they may be able to make it here. But because they still have that love for that person when it was here, the ability for anybody to get here may be a little secretly shut down. You don't want to say to the person who's currently doing the most for you emotionally that they could never live up to a dead person. So you might be rational enough to shut your mouth about that. And I've known about situations like that too. You know, I've known about situations where the person that they were dealing with currently found out about it. Like, yo, you told such and such that your baby father or your ex-husband, your ex this or that was the greatest love you've ever had, and we together. Yeah, that ain't an easy thing to explain. On one hand, you might expect them to understand that, well, that was when I was 19, 20 years old, and I was going, I didn't really know love, but that was my first baby father. That was my first baby, whatever the situation is. But it's trying to explain to a person that you're with right now in a good way that somebody else was the greatest love you've ever had. Well, do you expect them to make peace with it? Do you expect them to make peace with knowing that they will never be able to make it up here because somebody else owns this spot? So the greatest that they could do is here. Do you expect somebody to make peace with that? That ain't no easy thing to make peace with. You might not. That might cause an argument. You might be without peace for a little while. You might be without some peace. Okay. Mia Cunningham. God. She says, I think time is needed. You learn how to cope better. Okay. And she also says, might not like it, but you have to suck it up and move on. Carol says, sometimes when a relationship ends, there can be a feeling of abandonment. Like, why did I do wrong? Was I not good enough? Mia says, that's gotta sting like a mug to hear you'll never hold a spot that the way another did. Yeah. Are you prepared to make peace with that? How you gonna make peace with that? That ain't peace. That ain't peace. That ain't peace. But see, they might not have told you. They might have told a close friend or somebody like that, and they leaked it to you. Well, yeah, they said such and such was the greatest love they ever had. Somebody might have told you that shit on purpose. You know how people turn the screw. Like, yeah, I see y'all doing well, starting your little family and all that shit. Well, look on the bright side. You're only competing against a dead man. Don't worry. He won't take over until they get to heaven. You gotta watch he here on earth. That ain't easy. Making peace. Made peace with it. I made peace with the fact that my girl is eternally in love with another person. But like I said, you don't have to stop loving another person in order to have a great love with somebody else. Now I use that example, and maybe I shouldn't have used that example, but it's an example that's real, and it's an example that exists with a lot of people. A lot of people, I know a lot of people that I've met, a lot of people that I've known have lost a love while they was loving. They've lost a spouse. That, and they wasn't old. I mean, we kind of expect for widow situations to happen when we are in our older years, at least 50 and over, right? But when it happens when we teenagers, 20s, 30s, like, it ain't supposed to happen like that. But we might have to make peace with it. We might have to make peace with it. Man. Yeah, I told y'all about that situation with me long ago. You know what I mean? A long time ago when I was 18. You know what I mean? I'm kicking it with Shorty. She had a man. She told her boyfriend that, it was a rap between them two. But you know how it is, especially when you that age. You 17, 18 years old, because she was 17. I was 18. She wasn't 18 yet. So she's 17 years old. She had a serious relationship with the boy. I don't know what she actually told him. I don't know. I don't think she actually broke up with him. They might have just been having problems. They've been together for a while. Anyway, the boy, you know what I mean? He killed himself. Committed suicide. I'm sure her guilt was nightmarish. Matter of fact, I know it was. It was nightmarish. Had she made peace with that situation? Probably, somewhere between then and now, I'm sure she has. But she had to move on. So, yeah. She wasn't a widow situation, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when somebody that you love, man, I don't know how much she loved that man. I know they was together. Now you might say, well, if they were so much together, what was she doing messing around with you? Well, we was young. He was young, man. He cheated. He cheated multiple times. And you know how it is. You can't push a woman, but so far. He cheated a couple of times. Look, you catch you catch it, you catch somebody that you dealing with the same person a couple of times. You ain't gonna make peace with that easily. Because what does making peace with that mean to you? What does it mean for you? All right. Okay. Carol says, I can't even begin to imagine the hurt she felt. Carol says, testing the waters. I mean, we was babies, fresh out of high school. You know what I mean? Ink still on the diploma. We just graduated that spring. Summer for me, but spring for her. Nonetheless. And so it happened that fall. This was before Christmas. So that was a lot. My young non-understanding ass, I ain't the Omar that y'all know now, the one that has more empathy, but sometimes don't seem like he give a fuck. Imagine that back then. Back then, I ain't care about nobody that I didn't know. I ain't bullshitting. I ain't have love for nobody who I didn't know. I never really thought about that before, but that's how I was. If I didn't know you, I didn't have feelings like that. Like, I mean, I don't know you. I don't know where you come from, you know what I mean? But I also didn't know people like that. So I didn't know how to deal with her and what she was going through. But I do know this. I felt guilty too. Like, damn. Yeah. I played a vital role in this whole thing. So I had to make peace with certain things too. I played a vital role in that. I ain't tell her to do nothing. I didn't tell her to stop messing with him or nothing like that. But I mean, shoot, I was kind of the one who tipped her off that he was. See, it was a rough situation. The chick that he was messing with on the side was a chick that I was messing with. This chick just randomly showed me a picture of the boy. I told her, I told her that I worked at City Blue. She was like, "You work at City Blue?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Yeah." My boyfriend's girlfriend. I forgot how she put it. Some old crazy ass 17-year-old way she put it. She said, "Yeah, she worked at City Blue." And I was like, "What's her name?" Because the City Blue I worked at, it was only 3 girls that worked there. So it wasn't going to be hard to figure out who it was. She showed me the picture of the bull. Polaroid type joint. I was like, wasn't no cell phone. It definitely wasn't no camera phone. She showed me a picture of the boy. I was like, oh shit. I had only seen the boy like once or twice. She showed me the picture of him. I was like, oh shit. Mm. My stupid young ass. I said, yo, do you know this chick named blah blah blah? She was like, yeah, I know her. You know what I mean? Yeah. She lied and said that she was messing with my man. And woo, woo! I was like, you sure she was lying? She was like, Omar, what are you trying to say? I'm like, I got this internal struggle going on. Remember, I'm 18. I hadn't learned how to figure out niggas. I didn't know when to speak and when to shut up and when to. So I was like, you sure that she was only saying? She was like, yeah, because I asked him about her, and I can't say that her and the girl had a run-in, but they knew of each other. So maybe he kicked it like he used to mess with her, or like she just liked him and all of that. She had a picture with the boy. They was booed up. They was booed up in 88. It was 88 booed up. Booed up. You know what booed up what looked like in 88? You know what I mean? We talking about triple fat goose, leather trench coat. You know what I mean? Like, yo, just yeah. So anyway, so I was like, well, I think you. I said, listen, I was just with the joint, and she showed me a picture of the boy and her together. How you think I came up with her name? She don't live around my way. Yeah, she wouldn't ask the boy. And all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. A few weeks later. Oh shit. Frozen, no sound. Y'all should hold on now. Y'all good? A minute. All right, Emily, you say you good. Vita good. What up, Vita? Look, I don't want no shit. I'm looking at the meter over here. We look good on my side. Yeah. All right. But anyway, making peace. The thing that made you make peace with it. See, when we talking about a death, with the thing that might make you make peace with death is the fact that you can't change it. You can't reverse it. So you don't have nothing but time to make peace with it. Now you might not get on to making peace with it immediately because you're mourning. You know, that grieving period. Come on, man. That grieving period. That shit real. That shit is serious. Serious. It's serious. So if somebody tries to speed up the making peace with a death situation, that ain't, you can forget that. You can forget that. Vita B says, my serenity prayer gets me through it all. That's good. That's good. So, yeah. Shit is the thing that made you make peace with it. The thing that made them make peace with you. What are we talking about for you? What are we talking about when we're talking about for you, for it, for us? Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show, and we are talking about that thing that made you make peace with it. That thing that made you make peace with it. What are we talking about when we talk about making peace with it? I realized that, the career path that I was going down is just not in the cards for me, but I've made peace with it. Have you? Should you? Should you? It wasn't meant for me to be this. It wasn't meant for me to do that. But I made peace with it. Have you? Should you? I'm chewing on that good arugula. I'm chewing on that good arugula, y'all. It's good shit. That good arugula. Feeder B says anything that does not break your mental should allow you to make peace with it. Should. But what if it doesn't make it? What if it doesn't break your mental, but it still pissed you off? Maybe you don't. What if you don't want to make peace with it, depending on what you call peace? What if you don't want to make peace with it? Like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe I got to make peace with the fact that I don't want to make peace. Maybe I got to make peace with the fact that I can't forgive. There's different ways and different reasons to make peace. Carol Chimley says, I make peace when I forgive. Okay. What if you ain't ready to forgive? Can you make peace with that? Like, I can't forgive. Maybe I gotta forgive myself for not being able to forgive. Maybe I have to forgive myself for not even wanting to forgive. Like, I ain't forgiving. I ain't letting it go. Or I'm letting it go from my mind. I'm letting it go from my heart, but I ain't letting it go to the point where there will ever be peace between me and you. All right, so I gotta make peace with that. Maybe. B2B says, speak on it and let it go. Okay. 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 Well, yeah. The thing that made you make peace with it. Carol says sometimes it takes a minute for sure. It can take as long as it takes. It can take as long as it takes. It's really on you. It's really up to you. But to make peace with something, I would think involves allowing you to be able to move on, exist peacefully, without worry, without threat, without provocation. I made peace with it. It no longer bothers me like it used to. It no longer haunts me like it used to. It no longer scares me like it used to. Can we make peace with a situation that has not made peace with us? Do we need cooperation in order for something, in order for us to make peace with something? Let me make y'all understand what I'm talking about. Like, what if you grew up? What if you grew up with feelings of abandonment by your parents? Like, you never felt like they loved you. They they didn't take care of you. They didn't raise you, or maybe they were somehow emotionally or mentally abusive to you. And maybe they still are. And maybe you want to make peace with that situation. But they haven't changed, nor have they apologized or tried to make peace with you. Can you still make peace with them? Can you still make peace with it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you make peace with something that doesn't make peace with you? Like, this thing ain't being peaceful. It's not making peace. So can you still make peace with it? That side ain't peaceful. But you're ready to make peace. So it's like, we're at war. That side is still shooting. And I'm saying, listen, white flag, we surrender. Stop shooting. They like, no, blah, 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 blah. You're like, what the hell? Well, you can't have peace in that situation. And maybe that's an extreme situation, but nonetheless, it can feel that way, even if it's not exactly that way. Trying to make peace with somebody or a situation that doesn't want to be peaceful with you. Can you do it? How would you do it? How can you do it? Is it possible? VDB says, you're always going to be submitting to your trauma if you don't. And she says, and problems and problematic people as much as possible. Okay. Carol says, several months ago, my feelings were hurt. I tried to forget, but I couldn't. I finally was able to release the pain and forgive the person, but that was a deep cut. Heavy, heavy. Vita says, I keep my distance. That's my peace unless you come looking for me. Mm, mm. Wow, Carol. Yeah. Trying to make peace. Trying to make peace in a situation where that side doesn't want to be peaceful. You making peace, they ain't making peace. They're like, nah, we gonna tune up this war. Yeah, we gonna keep the war going. That's what we gonna do. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. War, war. That's what's up. We got war going on. So that thing that made you make peace with it, the thing, the thing that made you make peace with it, sometimes or often involves timing. The timing of the timing of when peace needs to be made and when peace is available. The timing of when peace needs to be made and is available. It definitely fits into the whole picture, the big picture. The thing that made you make peace with it. Hmm. Hmm. Such and such ain't never coming back. And I ain't talking about a death situation. Okay. You know what? Let's not make it so hard for ourselves. Let's talk about let's talk about when you have to make peace with a situation that like maybe y'all not friends no more. Or maybe you are friends with somebody. Let's say a friend of yours, you know how people move out of your city? They might move from around the way for a job, for a marriage, for another life, for a variety of reasons. But maybe they said that they was coming back. Well, you know what, man? I'm going over here. I'm working over here on this I don't know, 24-month contract. So I gotta go down in Biloxi, Mississippi. I gotta go down in Biloxi for 24 months. I got this contract, I got this job, and I'll be back. Like I'm as a matter of fact, I'm gonna keep my home here. I'm gonna rent it out, sublet it, whatever. And you know, but I gotta go down south and deal with these crazies or whatever. But I'll be back. So, you missing your friend. Maybe you went to go visit your friend in Biloxi and all of that. And they seem to have it going on down here in Biloxi. They got it going on. It might have been your friend. It might have been your lover. It might have been your homie lover friend. But you see that they starting to get their hooks dug into Biloxi more and more. So by around the 20th month, they not even talking about coming back. They're about to get their contract renewed. And the thing is, they don't miss, they're not talking about how much they miss being home anymore, like they were in the first 12 months. Now they making moves down there in Biloxi. Instead of living in that hotel or living in that apartment or living in that rental property that whatever. Now they start looking for homes in the area. Like, what you doing that for? Well, I can get an investment property down here. You know damn well. I ain't looking for no investment property. They move right in that bitch. You may have had to make peace with the fact that they not coming back home. They not coming back home to live. Now they coming back home to visit because they living down south, Biloxi, Mississippi. That's where they live now. Where they were down there on that 24 months contract, now they have a permanent position. Things done changed. Hey, are you able to make peace with the fact that they ain't coming back? Now, which capacity of what capacity do they hold in your life? Were they just a friend? Whereas, all right, well, they went down south. Now I gotta go visit down south. They kids is like my kids. My kids are like they kids. You know what I mean? So we gonna go down there and visit them in Mississippi. Or were they more like lovers? Like, oh, I thought we was doing this long distance relationship shit. If you are officially moving down Mississippi, that's far. That's far. That's far from Philly. People from Philly don't move to Mississippi, Alabama, places like that. We go like to Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, places like that. We don't leave the coast and go over there. It's where they used to lynch people and stuff, picking cotton and shit. Anyway, so if y'all were handling this long distance relationship thing, now you know that since they have secretly moved down to Biloxi, Mississippi, have you made peace with whether y'all going to be together or not? Because maybe you've had to make peace with the fact that y'all for all intents and purposes have broken up. Because you can't do this long distance relationship, but for so long, you've done it for 2 years, and it's not the only way it's going to stop being a long distance relationship is if you move there, because they're not coming back home, and you've had to make peace with that. You've had to make peace with the fact that they ain't coming home. And you may also have to ask yourself, do they even want you to come there? Have they asked you? Have they just been good with seeing each other, seeing you every few months or whatever? Like, have you made peace with that? The fact that they don't miss you enough to jump on a plane every other week or a couple of times a month or something like that. Like y'all frequent flyer bill should be, it should be on some shit. Y'all should have major points. You understand what I'm saying? Are you able to make peace with that? Are you able to make peace with the fact that, yeah, not only are they not coming back, but maybe we're through? We ain't said it yet, but I don't know what they doing down in Biloxi. I know I saw an extra toothbrush in that motherfucker. Might be something going on in Biloxi. Have you made peace with it? Oh, okay. Carol says I needed to make peace for my own sanity. It was a struggle though. And she says, in my case, it was a family member, which made it harder. Mm. Yeah, Carol, the extra toothbrush. Now, nigga like me, I got mad toothbrushes. I do. I've been taught that for good dental hygiene, you should only use a toothbrush for about a month, 2 months tops. But I'll be like, yo, the bristle's still all right on this joint. So I might not throw a toothbrush away before I get another toothbrush, and but nonetheless, you might be dealing with somebody who's a yuck mouth. They don't barely brush their own goddamn teeth, and you seeing an extra toothbrush, and that thing fresh. You know what I mean? That thing fresh. You might have been the type that went and sniffed the toothbrush, and that thing still it smelled like toothpaste. And you saw your lover brush their teeth, and they ain't brush it with that toothbrush. How you smelling? How you smelling toothpaste when they? All right, then. All right, all right, all right. I ain't saying they cheating. That might not be evidence that they cheating, but what you do know is that they ain't coming back home. Wherever y'all live, they ain't coming back there. They've decided to make that new place their home, and they ain't even tell you that that's what's going on. But you peeping out the whole scenario. But have you made peace with it? What would be the thing to make you make peace with that? Making peace with the fact that somebody has moved on without you, and they don't even seem like they hurting. Say, baby, where you been for all that time? And she cuddled me close and say that I'm. All right, let's do these birthday shout outs. Let's do these birthday shout outs. Shall we? Yes, we shall. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious September 20th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them, making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are Special. They get the Respected. They get the Respect. They are Special. They get the Respect. They get number one out the box. Julius Bertrand, turning 54 years old today, and Sheila Diane, happy birthday to you. And Rolando Ransom, turning 48 years old today. Danielle Walters, turning 42 years old today. And Henry Gamillion, my man, turning 72 years old today. And Donna M. Turner, turning 57 years old today. And Rashawn Bayah, happy birthday to you. And Natasha Streck, turning 48 years old today. And last but not least, Man, turning 38 years old today. Man. He's a singer. That's Man. He's performing. That's Man. Happy birthday. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today, I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious September 20th. Worldwide, internationally, and universally, all of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, that thing that made you make peace with it. Have you really made peace with it? The thing made you make peace with it. Have you really made peace with it? That thing that make you make peace with it. Have you made peace with it? That thing that made you make peace with it. But have you made peace with it? That thing that makes you make peace with it. Have you made peace with it? Have you? Will you? Have you prepared yourself? Have you mentally and emotionally prepared yourself? Have you physically prepared yourself? Are you ready to stop the rain? Have the clouds lifted? Have you stopped crying? Have you stopped humping on your pillow? You know how a lot of y'all women are, you know what I mean? A lot of y'all have a pillow. pillow. You know what I mean? I ain't saying you humping on a pillow, but I did say you was humping on a pillow. But you might just had a pillow. You know what I mean? Something to hold close. You may have had to make peace with the fact that you're going to have to deal with that pillow. That pillow. Well, life goes on and living goes strong when you allow your life to go on. Some things we have to just let come to us. And it ain't always an easy thing to do, but we gotta try. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night for another daily Go Getimism show. So please, I said, please come on through. I love to see you. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. 1, 2, ooh.